Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And Disney has just settled another lawsuit, $50 million. For Disney, that's like nothing, right?
Well, yeah, it's a settlement in a streaming antitrust lawsuit. Now, it has to be approved. It hasn't been approved yet. They're trying to settle because they don't want to, they don't want to move forward, even though it's been going on for like 4 years.
Yeah, this thing, this was filed back in 2022, and people don't realize with lawsuits, people that have never been in lawsuits, how long these things actually take.
How expensive they are.
How expensive they are. And in a lot of ways, Disney will actually run people out of money.
Oh, they're known to.
Yeah, that's a tactic. They'll tie it up in court as long as they can. Every time you have to have your lawyer answer or something or shuffle some papers, well, they're charging you, several $100s or $1,000 an hour. So that they're just give it.
Their other tactic is, hey, we're not going to win, so now we're going to settle. That's why that wrongful death with that doctor suddenly disappeared and her husband withdrew, and then you ever heard anything else about it. They're going to settle. And then their third tactic is, we're going to settle, but you have to recognize that we don't admit fault.
Yes. So it always comes with a catch. Usually it comes with like a non-disparagement clause. Like you're not allowed to talk shit about Disney if you take the money. And that's pretty much anybody who settles. Again, people don't realize, when somebody settles, they're like, why aren't they talking about this case anymore? What happened with that? It's like, no, usually to stop the legal action, to get paid, you have to shut up.
Right.
That's just how it works. So we'll talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo. Now,
this is coming a day after. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with this. The head of their gaming division, Jay Ong, is suing them for $40 million, claiming racial discrimination because he's Asian at Disney in California. And good luck with that. But I have to wonder if his game plan isn't to get them to settle.
To settle, yeah, to shut them up. Yeah.
Because that's usually what they do.
People do that, actually, because they just wanted to. But again, with Disney, their first go-to almost always, unless they know it's going to, they're going to go try everything they can to get dismissed repeatedly.
Yeah.
And try to run you out of money. And when that doesn't work, like we saw this with Gina Carano, they kept trying this, it didn't work. So then it moved through and it was going to go to court and discovery, and then suddenly they're going to settle. And you see this often because they know when the information is going to start coming out, we better settle before that. They know they're going to lose when they settle.
I have to wonder if they're not settling now because they want to tie off a lot of loose ends before Josh Tomorrow comes in, the new regime comes in.
I don't know. I think this is who knows, but this whole thing is crap. What's going on is, and this kind of ties into what we've heard other people complain about and go after Disney for before, which is they're demanding that DirecTV and it was YouTube at the time, for their YouTube Plus or whatever, for their streaming, that you had to, or YouTube TV, you had to take their whole package, including ESPN, even their lowest tiers, they were supposed to make people pay for ESPN, which was doubling rates on people. And that was 4 years ago. And then we saw last year they tried this shit again with YouTube, and YouTube held the line.
Yeah.
But, they're going back on people that got overcharged 4 years ago. They're making gains on not letting Disney dictate everything now. But this applies to things that were going on before when they filed the lawsuit.
Yeah. So it's I mean, look, the days of like bundling shit like this, I think, are over. I think a lot of
Disney's not going to win anymore. You can just strong arm and force everybody to bundle all your shit in there if you want Disney for an upcharge. And especially with their ESPN shit, they're not getting away with it like they used to.
So yeah, they're going to settle. So here's who could get a payout, I guess, if the court approves it. The settlement would apply to two groups of streaming subscribers: the YouTube TV customers who purchased a subscription at any time between April 1st, 2019 and the date the settlement receives preliminary approval. DirecTV streaming subscribers, including those using services branded as DirecTV Stream, DirecTV Now, or AT&T TV. God, that's confusing. During the same time period. Yeah, because DirecTV, you can actually buy DirecTV via streaming now. You don't need to do the stupid ugly-ass dish on the side of your house anymore. Yeah, it's like, I don't understand. Consumers who fall within these categories could become part of the settlement class and may be eligible to receive compensation. You might get like $10.
Well, that's just it. They're going to see who gets it and stuff. But the thing is, it's like they're pushing back because besides they have this lawsuit that they're trying to settle now. We did see YouTube, cause Disney to lose some money last time because they blacked them out and stuff like that. And that's what they're going to have to do because Disney has been ridiculous about, pushing other people to take all their whole bundle. They tried this with the Charter Spectrum and stuff. And then they did end up winning in the end because they agreed to let them buy wholesale Disney Plus with ads to add to their bundles and go along with a lot like the cheaper, version. But they're pushing back because Disney's getting they're too big for the britches. They're just definitely, and now that they got Hulu and ESPN, oh my gosh, they think that they're the shit. They really do.
It's gonna be what I'm interested in seeing happen is Disney and YouTube fighting because I think what's eventually going to happen is they're going to be bitter rivals.
Well, yeah, because now Disney's the same thing as YouTube and TikTok because they got their verts.
They got because we're seeing it right now because Neil Mohan, the CEO of YouTube, he was bragging about how much bigger YouTube was than Disney and Hulu and all that.
Well, they're significantly bigger, yes.
And they're going after sports deals. They've got they're going to be doing the Academy Awards, So they are basically TV, which I freaking hate because YouTube is, I'm telling you with them.
That's not what YouTube's intent was, what it was supposed to be. 2
to 5 years, YouTube is going to be completely unrecognizable. It's just going to be Netflix.
I don't know but here again, I'm going to say this. If YouTube does that, and then they try to go in all streaming, which there's already so many others, and they screw the creators over, that's what their edge is. They're just going to be another streaming service no one gives a shit about. Because they don't have what sets them apart is the YouTube people. If they screw them over, then how are they any different than all the other streaming services? So why pay for it? Because you can just get the same thing anyplace else and probably cheaper.
Yeah, well, the first volley against Disney was the apocalypse. That was a whole thing, but them starting to offer cable TV on YouTube, the YouTube TV. That right there should have been your first clue that they're going to try to compete with Hollywood, compete with the TV companies, and nobody wants to stay in their own lane anymore. They all want to be everything. And so
this guy is a dipshit, and he's going to probably run YouTube into the ground, in my opinion. But and
it happens, right? People were like, these companies are too big to fail. YouTube's too big to fail. Disney's too big to fail.
Well, Disney's feeling pretty good right now. Their stock's like garbage.
Remember MySpace? Remember AOL? AOL was like the biggest thing on the internet. It was the internet for a lot of people, and it's gone.
Problem is these places forget who they are. Netflix has always been Netflix. It hasn't really changed much. So it's at least stayed to where it is. But like a lot of these places that were network TV and they just created stuff, they wanted to be the streaming service, and that bit them in the ass. And they all rolled in together. And then Disney used to be about family. It used to be about all this stuff. And then they went after, movies and streaming, and now they're turning into something completely different. Their prices are too high. And they're completely like everybody, even the ones that were like friendly towards Disney are like turning against Disney because they're so sick of their shit. YouTube was different because you could watch people that weren't celebrities, and it did better than the celebrities in Hollywood. And now you got a guy in there who wants Hollywood to kiss his ass, and he's going to try to go all in to be all Hollywood and bigger streamer, and he's going to ruin the very thing that made YouTube special. And that's what they do. They come in there and they get these dumbass, moronic CEOs in there who think that they're God's gift to everything and they know better than everybody else. And then they run the companies literally down the drain, into the toilet, however you want to say it. And then they ruin them and then they why did it fail? I don't know, because you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, pretty much. I would love for somebody to just like spell that out in I'd love to see it. I spell it out every day. No, I'd love to see a meeting where somebody goes into the whiteboard and just goes up to the whiteboard. It's like, why is our stock down? Because you're all a bunch of fucking idiots.
Well, it's true.
That's why.
It's common sense.
Common sense. All right, we're going to wrap it up.
Yes.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.